Hear you? Can you hear
Sweet.
me?
I sure can.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you for coming on to the pod. For those who are listening, Chris, we met when I was in college. He was a grad assistant or something. Grad. What
Grad
was it?
assistant.
Yeah, grad assistant. He's a big Rams and Mizzou fan, so we're gonna get Chris's thoughts on the Rams and Mizzou's past season.
Sounds good.
So, Chris, what was your thoughts on the Rams playoff games? What happened?
Well, let's start off with the win against the Seahawks. They always play the Seahawks well. Even when the Rams weren't very good in St. Louis, they still played them well. And even with the quarterback situation, I felt like defensively, that's all they really need to do because the Seahawks are pretty much a one-man offense. If you shut down Russ, he pretty much shut down the whole offense. So pretty much took care of business there. But the Packers were just better. They were a better team. There's nothing like the Rams. They played well. They just didn't play well enough. I mean, even with Goff going in on half a thumb, I think he did well. I wouldn't say he lost us the game. We just simply weren't good enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was really it was a wild ride, for the Rams to make the playoffs. With their backup QB, so did Arizona, and the Rams ended up beating Arizona, so their backup was better than our backup was. So, what was your thoughts on the Rams season as a whole?
As a whole, so it was a rocky ride for sure. They had their little stretch towards the end of the season where they dropped some games, and you could clearly tell that I say Goff lost a handful of games just himself with his performance. I mean, they were way better than their 10-6 record for sure. They definitely should have won the division. And now that we've got Stafford, I think that's all going to be fine. I mean, the defense obviously is probably going to take a step back next year. It's hard to replicate number one back to back, but they'll still be fine. They still got other guys.
Yeah, so you just talked about Goff and Stafford. So, what was your thoughts on that trade there?
A lot of people are going to hate it, but I actually don't mind it, to be honest. I mean, Stafford, you say he can't win, but no one wins in Detroit. I mean, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson retired early because they couldn't win in Detroit. He's a good quarterback, definitely. And we gave up a lot, but the Rams have proven that they don't need number one picks to be successful. They draft well with the limited amount of picks that they have. And definitely now with Stafford, I think that definitely allows McVay to open up the playbook because I would say Goff certainly held McVay behind. And I think he's got a little bit more left up his sleeve that now he can unleash. Now he's got a quarterback that's more mobile and got a better arm.
Yeah, and I really liked how you were talking about the Rams having limited picks because, there was that crazy stat where the Rams don't have a first round pick from, what was it, like 2017 until
From
20.
2016 with Goff up until maybe the 2024.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, what's your thoughts on the Rams free? Well, free agency has been going on for a week or 2 weeks or by this time. So, what's your thoughts on the free agent moves or the trades they've made so far?
Well, going into the offseason, the Rams were like 60 million over the cap or whatever. And I've learned through the past years that the cap numbers pretty much doesn't exist because you can always move money around, turn it guaranteed, restructure. So I think currently we have 17 million open. So we've flipped 70 plus $1 million. And we didn't make any really big signings outside Floyd, just brought him back. It's definitely a big number for him, but I mean, he produced pretty well last year with the Aaron Donald effect. It certainly hurts to lose John Johnson. He was our play caller for sure. And he didn't even sign for that much for the Browns. I think it was like 11 million a year or so, which is certainly underrated for the caliber of safety that he is.
Yeah. So, what do you think are the Rams' biggest needs right now?
Offensive line and linebackers. Linebackers were awful, god awful. Troy Reader's about as fast as me and you. I mean, he makes the plays he gets to. I mean, he doesn't
Yeah.
miss what he gets to, but he doesn't get to a whole lot. And Micah Kaiser's in and out in the lineup, and whenever he's even in, he's certainly nothing special. So that's certainly it's a big need, but I mean, we have one of the top secondaries in the league, and then we have a pretty solid D line. So you can kind of hide the linebackers a little bit. So I know they're looking for that in the draft, but another need certainly is a deep threat receiver. We have a lot of the same caliber receivers. Cup, Woods, Van Jefferson are all the same, like short, intermediate route runners. We don't have the burner. We signed Deshawn Jackson, but I mean, that would have been good 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. So, is there anyone on the market or in the draft that you've looked at and you're like, I really want him?
There's with the draft this year is so crazy. Like I've seen like just some mock drafts, like some guys in the second round, and then you look at another draft and those guys are in the first round. Like I've seen, I think it's Jamin Davis from Kentucky. He's a linebacker. I've seen the Rams projected to him at 57 or 58. And then I think the other day I saw him in the first round, like in the 20s. So I'm just like, really don't know how to judge. They definitely need to look at O-line. I know they looked at the D3 kid from Whitewater's, Quinn Miners.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know they've taken a look at him. He would be good. I've seen projected second and third round picks for him. So again, I
that's
don't know where
crazy.
he's going to go.
Yeah.
It is, but Whitewater, they're not a D3 school. They're certainly a D1. They just get all the people who want to stay home in Wisconsin.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, just piggybacking off the draft. I mean, you never really know what's gonna happen until it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, I didn't believe that Arizona was gonna take Kyler Murray until they did.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
and
you
then
know,
you got like the Raiders who they always take a guy multiple rounds early. They took Damon Arnett last year, and I don't even know if he was a top 100 guy on a lot of big boards.
yeah, I know. I know. Also, last year they took I don't know what round it was, but they took that Lynn Bowden guy
Yeah,
that was quarterback for Kentucky, and then they traded him after the
training camp.
preseason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a receiver that got thrown in to quarterback. And he was like a gadget player. He played receiver, he played running back, did well. He got drafted in the second or third round, and then shipped him out to I think the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was Miami, which I don't know what he did after that, but
Yeah, I don't know if he did well.
okay. So what's your? I don't know if you've looked at the schedule, but what's your record prediction for next year?
Uh, Let me try and pull it up real quick. I know it's going to change because they just passed that
Yep.
17th game, so I don't know what the criteria is going to fall into that.
Yeah, I remember seeing some where like you'll play another divisions like say the Rams came in second, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be another team second, a team that was in the standings, second
Makes sense.
place.
Yeah, so we're going to play all the second place teams in the NFC, and it looks like we got the AFC South this year, which is kind of a crapshoot, especially now with Deshaun Watson the way he is. But I mean,
Oh yeah,
we always play well against the Seahawks and your Cardinals. Sorry to say that, but we always do well against you guys. And
yeah,
we can't not play well against the 49ers. I mean, they beat us with Nick Mullins. And so I'm going to say a split with them, probably at least 4-2 in the division. And then we got the Bucks. I'll take an L. We beat them last year, but I'll be generous. Then we got the Lions and the Bears and Jacksonville and the Titans at home. I think we at least go 3-1 in those games. I mean, Detroit's not going to be very good. Uh, Chicago just signed Andy Dalton, and then you got the Jaguars. So definitely 3 wins there, and then the Titans one's probably a toss-up. So I'm going to say just ballparking probably at least 10 wins, similar record to last year.
yeah. Looking at the schedule, I would have to agree. I mean, like you just said about the Bears, they signed Andy Dalton. They still have Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, I don't even know who's going to be playing. Oh, they have
Yeah,
Goff there,
Goff.
but nothing else there.
They got no weapons. I mean, their old line's nothing special.
Yeah. So, speaking of Arizona, before we move on to Mizzou, but what was your thoughts on Arizona signing J.J. Watt? Are you scared any or?
Not really. I mean, the beach up in Arizona signing all these old superstars. I mean, JJ Watt's good when he's healthy, but he's always banged up.
Yeah. I do think him being paired with Jones is going to be good. But again, Jones is coming off an injury last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, hoping both of them stay healthy. But we did lose Patrick Peterson, which he wasn't very good
Yeah, I
last
wouldn't say
year.
he hasn't been very good the past couple of years. He's definitely past his prime. I think it's a good thing you probably didn't pay him the amount that he was wanting.
Yeah. And Butler's a year older, but I do think he is going to be pretty good. And then I think we'll draft a cornerback.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into some Mizzou. What was your thoughts on the Mizzou Tigers season?
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. The season went way better than I thought. Coming in with a new coach, I think they had 3 or so spring practices. I mean, they nothing to institute a new playbook, new systems, nothing. So it had to be pretty vanilla. And then going in with a freshman quarterback and coming out with a 500 record, I would say is pretty good.
Yeah. So, you have to remind me, who was the quarterback this year? It was
Connor Bazelak.
Oh yeah, Connor, and then they got that Brady Cook guy.
Mm-hmm.
That was a freshman, right?
Yep.
True freshman. All right, so what's the outlook for the Tigers' future seasons? You think? Are they gonna build off of this season?
Oh, for sure. We didn't lose. I'm pretty sure all of the seniors came back except for 2. The big ones, I mean, Nick Bolton, but we have some linebackers that are coming in. We got a grad transfer coming from Rice that obviously he's not going to replace him entirely, but he'll definitely be a big piece and make some contributions to make up for the loss of Nick Bolton. And they got a good class coming in. They got guys that actually want to be here, some underrated guys that were lower rated than what they should be. And I know Drink's getting his guys in. We got a veteran team with a mix of some young guys. So I think it should be pretty good.
Yeah, I do think Drinkwitz is building a good program there. So, I'm a big quarterback person. So, they just brought in, is it Tyler Mackin?
Tyler Macon, yep.
Macon, and then they got another high recruit coming in. So, is there a logjam at quarterback, you think?
I think potentially. I don't think it's going to be as big as people think. I mean, Bazelak's going to be a freshman, but I mean, it's going to be a third-year freshman. You get redshirt, and then you got the COVID year. So, I mean, I could see him starting this year, next year, and then probably either, I mean, if he does good, the draft, or looking somewhere as a grad transfer. So then it opens up for Macon and Sam Horn. But, I mean, you always want good competition, and someone's obviously bound to leave. It's just nature of the beast. But,
Yeah.
I mean, that just means if someone's leaving, that the guy that's starting is going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so you talked a little bit, but what was your thoughts on Drinkwitz's first year?
Oh, loved him. Loved him. He was, with the coaching search, he wasn't even on the initial list of hires. The board of curators told Mizzou that that candidates weren't good enough, so they went back out, looked for more, and Drinkwitz came up, and blessed to have him, man. He looks like a nerd, but man, he can coach and he can recruit.
Yeah. So what's your predictions for next year? I haven't really looked at their schedule for next year, but they're SEC, so you're always going to have the SEC games.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty favorable this year. I think we've gotten some of the lesser opponents on the west side. I mean, we always play Arkansas. We've beat them 5 years in a row now. But Arkansas is also on the come up, so that should be a good game. I'm pulling up their schedule now. We open up at Central Michigan. Central Michigan, Kentucky, SEMO, Boston College, Tennessee, North Texas. So we should start out on paper at least 6-0 heading into Texas A&M.
Yeah, that schedule looks sounds pretty favorable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Texas A&M will be next year without Kellen Mond, but I mean they were ranked top 10 this year, so I'm sure they'll still be pretty good.
Yeah, and
So
then Tennessee with the dumpster fire they got there. I mean, Florida lost a ton
yeah,
after this year, and we normally tend outside last year. We tend to play them pretty well. So I mean, we have definitely the opportunity to do pretty well this coming into this year and second year under Drinkwitz.
yeah, and I do think like we talked about a little bit earlier, the QB competition's always good,
Mm-hmm.
and with Tyler coming in, he graduated high school a semester early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that competition with Basilick or however you say his name, and then you got Brady Cook still there. I'm sure that competition's gonna help make them better. So
Yeah, and Bazelak's
hope,
already the starter going into the year, so it's pretty much just a fight for the backup. And honestly, like Brady Cook might look good, but I mean he wasn't the highly touted quarterback, and once he got his Mizzou offer, he shut his recruitment down. This is his dream school, so I don't know if he'll leave at all.
yeah. I yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I know on Twitter one day I saw Tyler, and it was a video of him playing QB, and I didn't realize he was so short.
Yeah.
So I know he's a good QB, but I don't know. I mean, he could be one. He could be the one that ends up leaving, especially with Sam Horn coming in
Mm-hmm.
after him. So it'll be interesting to see. But that is all I have for today. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I mean, unless you want to talk about your Cardinals a little bit or how Boise State's going to look next year. Always open to learning about those since Boise State
Yeah,
operates
I
not
wish
like a
I.
Power Five.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Boise State a little bit. You know, their head coach left
Mm-hmm.
for Auburn, so I don't know how that will go. I know when the hire happened, it was very questionable because he doesn't really he's never really recruited in that area, and so I don't know. I know he brought a lot of guys from his coaching staff from Boise too,
Mm-hmm.
um, Auburn, but I don't know. I mean, he had a good program. I mean, not as good as the coach we had previously that coached at Washington. His name's slipping my mind right now, but
Was it Chris Peterson?
Chris Peterson. Yep, Chris Peterson. But I think the new coach we brought in, the defensive coordinator from Oregon that previously coached and played for Boise, is going to be a good coach there. I especially think our defense is going to be good. Right now I think at the quarterback position we're pretty set because we got Hank Brockmire. He'll be a junior. He started as a freshman. He was the highest recruited quarterback in Boise State's history, and I really liked him his first year. He did really well. His second last year, he was okay. He was out for a game or two because I'm guessing it was COVID. They never said why he was out.
Mm-hmm.
They said it wasn't because he was in trouble. It wasn't because of grades, but they never even came out and said it was COVID. So it was weird that he was out for a couple games. I mean, maybe it was a family related thing.
Mm-hmm.
But our backup, we also had a USC transfer, Jack Sears, I think it was. He played well in the game or so. He got to play in before he got hurt. So we ended up going our loss against BYU. We had a true freshman third string quarterback because we also had our third string quarterback that was hurt, I think, too. So it was like a fourth string true freshman
Huh.
that played against BYU, which was our hardest game all year, and of course we got destroyed.
Yeah.
Because and then we have this other guy coming in that looks like he might be pretty good, but based on the people we have right now, I don't see how he'll get on the field anytime soon. But we'll see what happens. Arizona, I'm just really hoping we get a backup quarterback because I don't know what it was. So I listened to Arizona podcast a lot.
Mm.
I listened to a daily one, and they still don't know what happened to Brett Hundley. Like he was our backup, and then all of a sudden we signed the CFL guy, and just because he has a similar style to Kyler, I don't know. Cliff was just like, I want him being my backup all year or whatever. But Arizona was apparently bringing in Colt McCoy for
I saw
a
you guys
visit.
signed him, didn't you?
I don't think. Well, I think he's supposed to come visit sometime this week.
Mm.
It was just reported last week, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
He was coming in this week for a visit, and then reportedly we're supposed to sign him. But I haven't seen anything since. I do think it would be a good, I mean, Colt McCoy obviously isn't like a starting QB, but I think he's a solid backup. I mean, he won the Giants a game last year.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps getting signed, so he's doing something right.
Yeah, and he's a veteran. He's been in the league for all these years. I think he would help Kyler. And, they're similar in size. I mean, it's not like I think obviously Colt McCoy isn't a running quarterback like Kyler, but I think the size, I don't know if it will really play a difference, but I think the veteran presence would be good because, I mean, the last 2 years, yeah, you had Brett Hundley, which was kind of a veteran around. But, I mean, last year was Hundley and then Chris. That was a first year in the NFL. So I'm just hoping Cliff's play calling gets better.
Oh, yeah. That was something I was going to bring up.
It was against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 3rd and 18, and he called a run option play.
Yeah, on Kyler, he got one leg.
Exactly. That still blows my mind. I have no idea what Cliff was.
This is a make or break year for him, I'd say. What, year 3 for him?
Yeah, year 3, and I do. I mean, after last year, it kind of, we started to think he was on the hot seat because there was, when we started, we started pretty good, like 6-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just all downhill from there. And, I mean, he lost us some games just on his play calling. The one thing, I want to believe in Cliff, but I really think they should have brought in an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think it's too difficult for a head coach, like his first time being a head coach in the NFL, and not having at least an offensive coordinator to bounce ideas off of or to talk with. So, and which they haven't done anything so far, and it doesn't look like they will. So, I would say it is a make or break year for him. The one argument is, before he got signed, is he's never had a winning season as a head coach, and as we saw this year, he still doesn't have a winning season.
Yeah, I thought it was a skeptical hire coming in. I mean, I was like, the guy couldn't succeed at Texas Tech, and he had Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. That is kind of crazy to think about. They did have that one crazy game where Patrick and Baker went.
Yeah, they combined like 1,500 yards or something.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Baker, Cliff also had Baker before Kyler, and still didn't win with him either.
Couldn't see his. I mean, granted, he was a walk-on, but obviously he has talent, and Cliff couldn't either see it or develop it.
Yeah. I do think the one thing good about Cliff is the players like him. And he seems like he works hard, at least from the videos I saw when he got hired, because there was videos on his work ethic at Texas Tech. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a make or break year for him, and I really hope he succeeds. But if he doesn't, I really think they'll go offensive-minded coach again. And I wouldn't be surprised if they look at Eric
Bieniemy.
Yeah, from Kansas City.
Yeah, he's a hot commodity out there. I mean,
I'm surprised he didn't get hired yet. What'd you say?
I say, yeah, I get skipped over twice so far.
Yeah, I'm guessing I think he just doesn't interview well, because he interviewed for every single job this year. And you're telling me no team wanted him?
Yeah, it's got to be something. That's certainly not
Yeah.
coaching ability.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I know Andy Reid does call the plays down there, but Patrick was saying he really likes Eric
Mm-hmm.
and thinks he's a good coach. So you would think that would do some for these teams, but let's talk about Deshaun Watson for a sec. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. What's your thoughts on that so far?
I honestly really don't know what to think. I mean, it grows in numbers each day. It's starting to. I don't know if the big number is a thing that it's hard to prove that they're wrong, or if it's so big that it's got to be fake. But it's
Yeah,
just the whole situation's pretty weird.
yeah. I really like Deshaun Watson. And I really hope all of this is fake, but it just there was more people that even came out today, and it's like, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if it's fake or if some of this got to be real.
Mhm. And
I don't
it's
know.
because I
But
think it was 3 more came out today to make it up to 19.
yeah, it is up to 19 now.
But it's
And
just weird
one of
because go ahead.
no, you go.
Because there's been no police reports filed, and there's been nothing filed yet. But the lawyer that's defending all these women's just only posting on social media about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is faking, but if this is all fake, it's really sucks that these people are trying to tarnish his name or
Yeah.
whatever. And I don't know. I was reading the comments today, and some people think it's the Texans that are doing this just to keep Deshaun around because
Mm-hmm.
his trade values. Which
Nothing.
I don't know. Like if his trade value falls down, then the Texans won't be able to get rid of him.
I don't think they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean that is a point there, and maybe because of I mean, him winning out, all that stuff's died down since all this began.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it is. I'm not saying like if he did do these things, I'm not trying to, it is horrible things, and I really hope he gets the help he needs if he did do these things, but. I really hope he didn't because he seems like a really good guy. But again, I don't know him, so I don't
Yeah.
know. All right. Well, I think that's all I have. Unless you have anything else you would like to add.
Nothing really. I mean, thanks for having me on. Enjoy it. Looks forward to it. I've been looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
I'm glad you came on, and I would if you ever want to come back on. If there's any topic that just fires you up and you want to get on and talk about it, just send me a text and I'll get you on.
Oh, I can go on and on about my teams. So pretty much, if you ever need a guest, I'm always here.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right,
Kyle.
no problem.